In this video, we're looking at the entire process as to how I list video games on eBay. Welcome back to Common Lie, guys, where you're joining me on my journey to make $1 million. Today we are taking a look at the entire process behind how I get these games in, get them tested, get them listed, figure out how I track them, how I ship them. The entire process right here, because I think this is going to be something that you guys might find useful. You can definitely implement it on your own page. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now. I think my process is quick, efficient. You guys can tell me if you have any ideas to change it or suggestions, but I think it's pretty good. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Now, whenever I get games into the inventory, I generally go ahead and put them into these red bins. These are receiving bins. Now, basically, if I buy it at a thrift store or if I buy a large online auction full of them, they're always going to get sorted out into these bins in the lot that they came with, and that's how I'm able to track them easily on the system. So generally speaking, I would grab an entire bin and just work on that, but here I've just picked out 2 games that we're going to be going through the process with. Now here are the 2 games I've selected here. This is a good example of what we generally get into the store. This is a new game, new copy of Halo 4. That's gonna be very easy to list. And this is a used copy of Lego Batman 2. Let me take you through both the processes. So welcome to the listing table. That is a big light and just a white table. That's gonna be used as the backdrop. This is where I put all the games I'm working on testing. So they're all over there. There's my scale, which we won't need in this video. And these are all the remotes lined up for this testing rack. This is what I built. Now you do not need one of these if you're doing it yourself, but this is basically just a whole bunch of composite switchers or whatever you call them. And they are linked to every single one of these systems, which then can be thrown up on the TV. Now I just simply turn it on with these 2 power switches down here and we are all set to go. Now if you do deal in video games a lot, I would suggest getting one of these switchers, hooking it up to your TV, and then having every single console that you use plugged into it. It makes it a lot easier to switch between different consoles without having to go and unplug them and plug them in every time. I also have multiples of most systems because I like to do 2 games at once and I can switch between them. Very simple to do. In terms of the PS3 though, I only have 1 right now. Now once the system is turned on, it's just a matter of me going ahead and selecting the right channel. I don't have these labeled, but I memorized all of them. This is the PS3 and I have to come down here and click number 2. And now we see that the PS3 turns on. Alright, immediately I head over to the Batman 2 disc, I open it up, and we're gonna get up the disc. Now this game, generally speaking, looks very mint. If it has any sort of scratches or bad, deep scratches, I generally put them in a separate bin and save them for when I get my disc refurbishing machine in. But at the moment, I'm just getting the ones that are in good shape listed. Let's go ahead and put this one into the system, make sure it works. Alright, the PS3 is saying that we don't have the latest software. We're just going to ignore that by pressing 0 and let this game load in. Alright, so we can see here that I've gotten to the loading menu and it's totally working. I'm able to move it around. Where's the remote? There it is. I'm able to move it around on the remote and whatnot. You can select all these and it's all good. Now, generally this is about the extent that I test the games to. When you're dealing in this kind of volume in terms of games, if you know that the disc is good and it's going to load to the start screen, generally speaking, you're going to be good for the entire game. Now, obviously, you can't go ahead and play through and test the entire game every time. That would just be impossible. It'd be ridiculous. So this is generally the extent to which I test. You just got to be okay with if the customer has an issue with it, you do have to be able to be willing to work with them and possibly refund them if the game isn't working. But this appears to me to be a working game, which means that we are good to go on to the photo station. Alright, so now it's a matter of just taking some photos. For this one that was new, we just already sent it directly to the photo station. But for this one, we're going to need to take 2 photos of it. This one, actually, we'll get 2 as well. This one's going to get one of the front and one of the back of the case. All the used games only get one of the front and then one of the inside with the manuals like so. So those are going to be the 2 photos for each of them. Let's go ahead and take those. One other quick note when it comes to new games, you just want to give them a quick little shake, sound, or hear if there's any sort of loose disc in there. You want to make sure that's all secured in place, otherwise it could have some damage. So luckily on this one, we're okay. Alright, let's hop over to my computer now where we'll do some listing. Usually I don't use my laptop, I actually use the computer behind me right over here. However, I want to be able to record it, and this one doesn't have a screen recorder on it. So we're going to use my laptop in this case. Okay, welcome into the computer now. The first thing that I like to do when I'm listing is I find a game in my store that's similar to the one that I'm listing. This is a Batman game for the PS3 here. And all I do is I go up here and I press sell a similar item. If you don't have an item already listed on your store and you don't know how to do this, you can simply go ahead and follow my format here, which I will show you as we go through this listing, and create your own, and then you can sell similar based off of that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the same system, doesn't have to be the same game name or anything like that, because we're just going to go ahead here and change it anyway. First thing that I'm going to put here is Lego Batman 2. If I have the room, I try to fit the entire title there, which is Heroes. There we go. Then I put PlayStation 3, I put PS3 for short, and then good condition tested. Custom label on this, we're going to get back to it later, but for now I'm just going to leave it empty. On my condition description, I used to do these and I used to describe the entire thing here, but then I decided that I only wanted to do in one place because I used to do them in here in the description. Now I just do please read description. Overall good condition, manual included, light marks on case. If any of these things don't exist for this item, then I just simply change them in here. But generally speaking, this covers most items I list. For the photos, I remove them obviously and add my own. Here we can see they are right here. These are all the ones that we just took. So let's go ahead here and import the 2 Batman ones. Now I usually crop them up to be square. My camera doesn't shoot in square for some reason, so I just had to generally do this afterwards, just kind of eyeballing it. And sometime I'll enhance them, but first I like to see what they look like as so. Sometimes as you click the auto adjust or auto enhance, it will actually mess up the look of it. In that case, yeah, you see it doesn't look that great, so I'm just going to leave it as is. This one I generally just leave in this shape. I don't really mind. It's just the first one you want to fill as much of the screen as possible because that's what's going to catch the buyer's eye. Just regular 12 supersize. In this one I will update the game name, but in these ones I've also been trying to do less and less of these because they do take time to change for each game when you're doing a whole bunch of them. So I do the system, of course. I do the game name down here. I try to pick a genre. I don't do the ratings anymore. I got rid of it. You know, you can do the E for everyone or M for mature. I don't do those because I don't think they're very useful. I also don't do subgenre, which used to be the case for sports games. That took me too long. I think that's pretty much it, though. The description, guys, I like to keep this very short and sweet. If the game is not complete, if it's missing a manual, I'll just simply go here. The game is complete, no manual. But in this case, we're good. By the way, if there is no manual, I make sure to mention it not only there, but I mention it in the description. I mention it right here, manual not included, capitalized. And then I usually put it in the title as well if there's not a manual. And then also at the end here of the description, manual not included. That's where I would include that. The case is in good shape, but has light marks on it. I always put light marks on it no matter what, because if you look at a case, you can almost always find light marks on it. So I think that covers most cases as well. In this case, we don't have any sticker residue, but if I did have some, then I just say, and some sticker residue, or a crack or a piece missing, whatever the case is, you can go ahead and edit that. But in this case, we just have light marks on it. There's nothing wrong with the case. It's in great shape. The disc has light scratches. I always put that in because, again, it covers you in case the disc does actually have scratches on it. You could even put light scratches and marks, but has been tested and works. I don't know why there's not an S at the end of works. There we go. And then manual included. One other thing that I do add rarely, though, is that the front cover, and then I'll say is wrinkled or whatever. Sometimes that's the case in some games, and you do have to add that in there. But other than that, that is basically the extent of my description. Very quick, simple, nothing else in there, and that's it. It gives the buyer a good idea of what they're buying. Now I've headed on over here to pricecharting.com. This is all based on video games. If you don't use this site and you're selling video games, you got to use this site because I'm not sure exactly how accurate the prices are. I like to think they're extremely accurate. I've sold a lot of games using these prices, and I like to think that they are right on target. So if we go into Lego Batman 2 here, which is a game that we have, it looks like the complete price is $6.99 and the loose price is $6. What will I do then? I will actually price it a little bit lower than that, not very much, but I'm just going to go here and go $5.99. I just go to the closest dollar. So if it's $6, I go $5.99. If it's $4, I go $3.99, and so forth. If it was like $6.75 on price charting, I'd probably still go for just $6, so $5.99. If it was like, you know, $4.50, I'd probably just round down just so I can make the sale happen. Quantity I always leave as 1, and I always let buyers make offers. Look at shipping here. I just do flat, exact same rate to every single buyer because in Canada you can ship a video game in the slot for $3.50 no matter what. So I just do that anywhere in Canada, and I have a 2-day handling time on those. International, I've found that $11.99 seems to be the number for me, at least here in Canada. Now, generally speaking, some of them might go $14, $15. Some of them might just go $10. I know to the US, sometimes I can get it low as $5, $6 on those. So this generally seems to cover my costs in most cases. This is kind of the average number. You might go ahead here and preview your item before you list it. I generally don't. I just go right to the actual listing, but that is an item completed. Now, the picture on this one didn't turn out amazing. Sometimes they go better or worse. I don't think I had the flash on my camera. But again, I don't think pictures even matter that much. I think if you have the item there, you can sell it with just a picture like this. Like, I wouldn't worry too much about your picture quality. If you had to take it on your dining room table, you have to take it on your dining room table. If you take it on the floor, you take it on the floor. You know, it's just a matter of listing and not making excuses as to why you can't list. I'm not going to go and waste time, you know, retaking the picture, making sure that it's all white and whatnot. Here's a picture of the item, and we're good to go. There we go. Item number 1 there is finished up for $5.99, and we're all good to go. All right, I found another game here that I have that I can kind of compare this one to. This is a factory seal game, so we can list the Halo one based off of this. This one does have some sticker residue, it looks like, and I think I've already sold one. So anyway, let's go ahead here and use the same format. All right, I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker here. Going to get rid of the item number right there. We're just going to go along here and put Halo 4 Xbox 360 new factory sealed. I think that's literally all I'm going to put. Condition right here goes to brand new. We're going to select our photos. Cropped in my photo just like that, and I'm going to leave the other one as is. I don't really care about the other one. because again, it's just about catching the viewer's eye with the large scale photo. But on this one, it can be cut down a little bit, doesn't matter. Obviously, you don't get a condition description either when it's brand new, so that's helpful. Game name, Halo 4, platform, Microsoft, Xbox 360. You have to deselect your other system as well. It won't automatically do that, so be sure to do that. Family and kids, definitely not. Let's go up to action and adventure. You could do shooter and all those things. I think there is actually one for that, so maybe that would be a better one for this, but generally speaking, it doesn't really matter. The game is brand new and in great condition. The case is in great shape, but has a sticker residue on the front. The case is in great shape, but has a sticker on the back. This is the only thing that I would say about this item, is that it does have a sticker on the back, but that's all we're going to need to write about that. Again, very simple, short and sweet. That's just my style. You can have a big complex description if you like, but I just like to operate quickly like this. Price on this one. Oh, I put in Halo 3. Halo 4. We find the game right here up for $11.64 on the new price, $4.99 on complete, and $3.99 on loose. So in this case, I'm going to list a little bit lower than that because I do want to move it quickly. Let's go ahead and put it up for $9.99. I had to be careful on this one as well because the quantity here was set to 2 on the last one, so I got to set that to 1, and then of course let buyers make flexible offers. If you want to do auto decline, you can set either one of these, like automatically accept offers less than or whatever, or automatically decline offers lower than. You can edit these so you can do that automatically as well. In my case, I don't get enough offers to really have to worry about that. I can generally deal with them all in a day, but if you got very busy and you were doing a huge scale, you might just want to set these automatically. Shipping, exact same deal. I'm not going to go over it again. Exact same thing. Preview that one and we're looking good. And there's our 2 new games here listed. Now pay attention to this spot. This is where I'm going to put them into the bin. I'll show you where the bin is in a second, but in this case we're going to go ahead and just assign them a bin number and then enter it into the sheet. So I'm not exactly sure what's open, but I would put in V36 for example, and then the actual item number would go next, which is how I track the sales on these items. However, I'm not going to enter this right now, but just know that that's where I would go ahead and put that, and I'll show you an example of it right now. Alright, so here's the system I've created. It's just a big spreadsheet for tracking all the games that are in inventory, but basically all that happens is we get this this number up here. This is the actual bin that they're stored in, so everything in V18, 1 through 18. All the items are in here titled. Unfortunately, I can't share with you the entire sheet because it has some more sensitive things, but basically it says who I got it from or where I got it from, the purchase price, the sale price on the item, and all the profit and everything like that. The item name though, we can see here that V3614 and 15 are empty. We could take any empty ones in the entire sheet. In this case, we're going to take these ones because they're the newest bin. And we're just going to go ahead here, enter the name of the game, the condition that it's in, the system that's for, which you can't see, and then all the other information. So that's how I'm going to do that, and then I would assign them both to V36. Alright, so I assigned both the games here to V36, which means that they would both go into this bin right here. Finally, when it sells, I go ahead here and simply grab a bubble mailer. I ordered these in lots of 100 from a supplier on eBay, who I think is out of China, and you can just get whatever size you'd like. These sizes fit video games perfectly. So you just slide the game in there, seal it up, and then put your label on it, and you're good to go. And there it is. That's it. That's the entire process of listing the items on eBay. One thing that I do want to mention though real quick is regarding the camera. I've tried multiple ways to maybe take the pictures on your iPhone, to create drafts and upload the pictures to eBay via your iPhone, or to just go ahead and take pictures with that kind of camera on a memory card. I still prefer using an actual camera with a memory card. I find it's fastest, especially when you're dealing in a large volume of games. This may not apply though if you're selling other items where you have to be able to sell it yourself and click under a similar listing that's somebody else's. You may want to go ahead with the draft method on your phone. However, that's the way that I find works best for the video games. And with that all said, those items are completed. They're up and listed. I like to think that's a pretty efficient way to get them up there, and I hope you guys found this video helpful in improving your own system. And with that all said, I would really appreciate if you guys could leave a like on the video. It helps out so much with the channel. Also, if you enjoy this kind of content, if you have suggestions for more, leave me a comment. And again, if you enjoy it, please consider subscribing. All right, you did all that? Awesome, thanks so much. I will see you guys in the next video.